What's up, guys? So it's another day working on the Charger. I honestly can't remember where I left off. I need some fuel line, and I set my first filter, I guess first physical filter. There's actually a filter on the pickup in the tank, but I really don't count that as a filter, even though it actually is a filter, or we call it a fuel mat, whatever you want to call it. So I've got my 100 micron in, as you saw, next to the pump. I did do a short AN line between the two just because I could. I love AN stuff. I've never had one leak, knock on wood, but they're just something you just don't have to worry about. Even with ethanol fuels, I've never had a problem. So it's the ethanol and the fuels that get these fuel lines, and then they start to just get really spongy and mushy. So especially when you have an old car that doesn't get driven every single day, and that fuel just sits and sits, and not only does it solidify, but it also just starts chewing on everything touching rubber, basically. So here I am. So I want to redo my fuel tank vent line, which is 5/16, and I bought a bunch of 3/8 just to kind of close the gaps between the hard line and the filters, and so that's all pretty standard stuff. But I do need to put some kind of a flare on the hard line that I cut, and I've never done this before, but I think everyone's familiar with one of these tools by now. If not, it's a flaring tool, the best flaring tool in my opinion available today, unless you're talking about a hydraulic, crimping tool. But these guys are worth every penny, and I took way too long to buy one of those things, and I'm so glad I did. But that doesn't mean it. Basically, you put it in a vise and you hold it. As you can see, I have a wrench on there, and I'm going to do something stupid today and try to crimp something in place on the car. Now, I could probably get the short one off the car, which is fine, but the long one that runs the whole length of the car, I am not going to pull off. So it's basically from there all the way up to the front. It's a stock OEM line, so you can imagine it's just regular old hard line. But I want to not pull that one off. I'm going to try to crimp it in place. But I've never actually done 3/8 stainless, so we're going to try that today. I'll probably get the short one off and do it real quick. It's just two operations on that guy, and then we'll start filling in the blanks with this rubber hose. My fuel log has not shown up, but I do have a couple options for temporary use. Should we have the ability to fire this thing up, I'll just throw something on the carburetor and run it. And then I've got my little 40 micron there. As you can see, it'll connect to the factory hard line via a small length of rubber hose there. So basically in between the filters, it's all stock. I'm sorry, yeah, I guess up to the pre-filter, and then we'll call this the post filter because it's after the pump. So there's 100 micron before the pump, and then this 40 micron before the carburetor or before the fuel log. So that's what I'm running, and so I'm going to run AN from this guy up to the carburetor. So yeah, so let's get working. All right, so that's the little AN line that I made between these two. It was kind of a stretch to get these guys. That was a little too tight, but it'll be fine. Hopefully it doesn't leak. It is all low pressure stuff. And then you saw me run this wire and use some Adels, put my ground there, wrapped it up really nice with this Russell anti-friction wire loom, and it looks pretty tidy if you ask me. So I'm happy with it. I do want to replace this guy. It's aluminum. I want to replace it with brass just because I'm just a freak like that. I like everything to be the same if possible. So now I've got this little piece from the exhaust or the gas tank, so that'll be easy to do. And then I have to somehow do this guy, which is the one that runs to the front of the car, in place. I think I can do it, but you're probably wondering why I'm going to crimp this, or not crimp it, but flare it, just so the fuel line or the hose clamp has something to clamp to. And so it's low pressure, so that's pretty unlikely that it would pop off. So I think the max this pump's going to make is 12 psi, so it's really not a big deal. But it's the right thing to do. And with fuel and being a car, cars are hard to get underneath, and I hate working under jack stands and stuff, so I'm going to try to do it all right the first time. So let's go crimp this one on the bench. So this is the one that I cut, and I'm not super proud of that, but it worked. And this is what we're trying to achieve. Double bubble flare. And the one thing about these things is that if you're going to bend them, you just don't want to bend them before you put a flare on them. So you got to put if you're going to put a super tight bend on the outset or close to the flare, you want to flare it first before you bend it. Ask me how I know. So these guys come with dies, and it's made by K-Tool. It's not a sponsor, but I wish it was. I wish there's a lot of people that I would love to have support from, but it's not. It's just not something I would reach out for. So Op1 gets it in place. Basically, Op 0 sets the depth of where the tube needs to be, and then you lock it down, and then you tighten it like that. That keeps the dies together while you're crimping, so it doesn't slide. So we're going to go to Op1 for 3/8. It's kind of like a little turret. So Op1 is the first flare. And it puts the first flare, and it actually made that hole a lot more round too. So that was kind of a bonus there. And then Op2 for 3/8. There we go. Yeah, the stainless is so much harder to work with. What? Oh, that's weird. Huh. That is really weird. Just totally flayed this thing. Huh. Wow. Okay, I guess we're cutting that off. Start over. Must have had something to do with the way I cut it. See how it just totally broke the end of the line there? So I'm just gonna cut it, and it was just from using that conduit cutting tool that I had, I'm guessing. See how long that took? That's a testament to why you shouldn't use stainless steel hose, because it is just tough to work with. Real tough. Now if I was going to make brake lines, which I did on the orange truck, I do think that those are a great application for that, but it's all -4 and much smaller, and it's in kind of a harsh environment as well. So I choose to use stainless for, I guess it's 3/16 to -3 or 4, I can't remember, but either way, there's a time and place for it, in other words. So I'm just cleaning up the end of this thing, reaming it, getting all the flare off, or the extra material that the saw made. So now I have a pretty good flat. You want to start with a really square edge. All right, let's try this again. Well, it's a flare. It'll work. Gonna have to cut it down though. If there's I could have sworn it was a double flare. 3/16. Oh well, it'll work. I'm just gonna grind it down a little bit. All right, so I hope you can see everything. Hopefully, put my new 3/8 barb in there, or inverted flare, So now we know that this fuel line is able to be flared. However, it's not the flare that I want, but it is some kind of flare. So I just need to get a little flare on this guy, and then everything will be just fine. But getting it is going to be the hard part. So I'm just not sure how this is going to work. It's going to have to come off just some degree. There we go. Might be able to come down here. So I'm going to do a fill. Or feed line, I guess, first. Probably going to put another Adele on this guy here, but we'll see. Usually once you connect all the hoses, it tightens up. Now I did shave down the sharp edges on that flare that I made just to make sure it doesn't cut through the hose. So I usually use a nut driver to tighten hose clamps. A lot of people use a flathead screwdriver, and that's fine, but a lot of times a flathead screwdriver won't tighten it as tight. So end up having to go back and do it anyway, so I recommend that for you. And it should be it's not the same as the other ones, so this one's got to go too, for no other reason than I like uniformity. And this one's aluminum, so I'll just use these guys as spares or in a pinch. And I seal the threads with that Permatex aircraft gasket maker. And that is way more resilient to fuel than Teflon tape. Well, I got some barb fittings today at the auto parts store, and I got 4, and they ended up being the wrong size. Or 2 of them. 2 out of 4 ended up being the wrong size that someone had clearly taken back, and one of the guys at the auto parts store put them back in the wrong package, I guess. So that's annoying. But if you don't bring your stuff back, they'll never know. So it's kind of, unless you're in a real pinch, you got to bring it back so they can correct the issue. Otherwise, they'll never know. This one happened to be a 3/8 barb fitting, but a maybe 5/16 thread. So I did have an adapter, brass adapter at that. So I think we'll be okay. But yeah, it's just so annoying. Now, alright, so as you can see, almost here, almost done with this area anyway. Got some zip ties here, just making sure I've tightened everything up. And I gotta tighten up the fuel pump still. And then this grommet, I wanted to show you guys this grommet that actually came in one of the kits that I've installed from American Auto Wire, but that literally fit perfectly. Didn't have to drill any holes. This guy right here. And I really wanted a reliable grommet that didn't let air in or a bunch of, you know, fumes and whatnot. But so yeah, that's looking good. And some more. I gotta make sure that these guys are tight now, which they should be, but I'm gonna check them anyway because it's a pain to get underneath cars. So give me one sec. Well, I'm not super thrilled with it, but it's together. So yeah, I'm sure it'll work. Pretty sure anyway. I do need to put some heat shielding up there just because of the 3-inch exhaust pop overs for to go over the rear end. Get a little close up there, so I'll put some heat shield up there. And I still gotta clearance my exhaust again. Don't do 3-inch, not on a Charger. It's just not worth it. It's a hassle. So you heard it from me. Anyway, I was just being greedy, and now it's biting me in the ass. So now I gotta install another one of these up on the front and connect that, and we'll be closer. All right, so this is like next to impossible to film while I was doing anything. You wouldn't have been able to see anything. So the hard line comes up and it stops right there at factory termination, I guess you could say. And then so I just added a 5-inch piece of 3/8 fuel line, and then went into a 3/8 barb, 3/8 NPT, and then with a 40 micron, and then to a -8 outlet. And so we're going to run a custom length -8 outlet, or I'm sorry, AN hose up to the carb. And looks like I'm going to take off up through here, and probably, so before my fuel line ran between the alternator and the passenger side head, I shouldn't have done that because I think it just runs too hot in there without any sort of heat shield or sheathing. So I'm going to just take the cooler route and go, I'm going to run up through that, probably the closest hard line for my heater or heater core, and just route it up through there, keeping it away from that first primary and header primary, and then going from there, it'll probably just route right through here on this guy, and I'll just probably just piggyback on top and come around the distributor and go right into the fuel log. You can see I haven't taken off, so this is actually what's holding up the show, which I should have today. So hopefully we can get this fuel system done and behind us and move on to other things.